Hi friends, thank you very much for clicking ABC Learning English Solution. Friends, today on this podcast, we will discuss about the usage of participle in English sentences. My dear friends, actually this is the second part of this section. If you are new on this channel, I'd like to request you to visit the first part of this section at first and then click on this video, and you will get the link in the I button. So my dear friends, participle, it is actually divided into three parts. Participle is divided into three parts. One is called present participle, another one is past participle, and the third one is perfect participle. Now my dear friends, present participle, it means verb plus ing. That means the present form of the verb or the base form of the verb plus ing, and this term is used in English sentences as an adjective. That means in this term there is the characteristic of an adjective and also the force of the verb, and that's why it is called verbal adjective. That means the verb with ing, this form is used as adjective in the sentence. And my dear friends, past participle means the third form of the verb. That means the past participle form of the verb is used as an adjective. At that time it is called past participle. And my dear friends, perfect participle means this form, having plus V3. That means having plus the third form of the verb or the past participle form of the verb. And my dear friends, this is also used as adjective in the sentence, and this form is also used as adjective in the sentence. So obviously there is a difference between these three types. Actually my dear friends, in the first type, present participle, it shows ongoing action. I just told you there is the characteristic of the verb, that's why it is called verbal adjective. My dear friends, in this ing form you can see the ongoing actions, or you can say the incomplete actions, or you can say the imperfect action. But my dear friends, here in these two parts, past participle and perfect participle, here you can see the completed action. This is the most important thing, and we always have to remember this thing. Now my dear friends, today we will discuss about this one, how to use participle in English sentences, and the most important thing is how do we use it in our real life situation. In our real life situation, this term participle, it is used widely, my dear friends, and we have to know the proper usage of it. So my dear friends, if you watch the video till the end, I think there will be no such problem regarding this section of English language. So my dear friends, let's get started. I have written here some of the example sentences. First of all, let's look at these two sentences. Actually, the usage of participle in these two sentences are almost same. First of all, I have written I saw a dancing girl. So it's clear that this is the adjective, or you can say this is the present participle. And here in this sentence, growing children need a balanced diet. My dear friends, I have underlined two words. This one is present participle and this one is past participle, and this one is present participle. Actually friends, you can see this term dancing, it is modifying the girl, and growing, it is modifying children. Children is the noun, girl is the noun. So the term modifying the noun, obviously it's an adjective, as it is not the main verb in the sentence, that's why it is called present participle. Here the same thing, this term is modifying the children, as a result it is present participle, and this term is modifying diet, so it's a past participle. We have used the past participle form of the verb balance. Now my dear friends, this type of usage is called attributes. Attributes. You can say participle may be used as attributes. Attribute means it's nothing, my dear friends. The term or the participle is used before the noun. Attribute means, my dear friends, it's nothing. Actually, the term or the participle used before the noun. You can see here we have used the participle before the noun. That's why it is called attribute usage. Here the same thing you can see. We have used the term growing before the children. That means these are used as attributes in the sentence. Now consider these two sentences, 3 and 4. Look at this part. He kept his father waiting. And in the fourth example, the old man appears tired. My dear friends, the verb is kept here, and in example number 4, the verb is appears. My dear friends, in this part, it is called predicate. Actually, the participle may be used as predicate, or participle may be used in the predicate. Here let's look at this part. He kept his father waiting. So this term is present participle. Present participle. And waiting, think about this sentence, my dear friend. Waiting, who waiting? Father. That means this term is modifying father. Father is a noun, so obviously it's an adjective. As it is present form of verb with ing, it is called participle. Now my dear friends, predicate means the participle is used after the noun. Here you can see we have written the participle after the noun. Same thing happens in this sentence. Appears, this is the verb, and tired, this is the V3 form. That means it is past participle. And tired, who is tired? The old man is tired. Here the old man is tired. That means this term is modifying the old man. That means the term tired saying something special about the old man. So it's a noun. As it is modifying a noun, obviously it's an adjective, and it is the V3 form, so it is called past participle. And my dear friends, here you can see we have used the term after this one, or after the noun. In attribute usage means the participle is used before the noun, and predicate usage means the participle is used after the noun. This is the main difference. Now my dear friends, let's consider about these two sentences. Sentence number 5 and 6. 5 I have written, the play was fascinating. Here this is not a verb, this is used as a noun. So the play is a noun, rather was is the verb here. This is the verb, and the play was fascinating. So what was fascinating? The play was fascinating. That means this term is modifying the noun, the play. So obviously it's an adjective. As it is verb with ing, so obviously it's present participle. Now my dear friends, these types of usage are called subject complement. We can say it subject complement. So this is the complement of this subject. Friends, you can see this is not the object. As it is adjective, it cannot be the object of a sentence. Object means it has to be a noun or a pronoun. A noun or pronoun may be the object of a sentence or a subject of a sentence. But an adjective, obviously it's a complement. And here we have used the present participle as the subject complement. So this is the complement of this subject. In this way, we can use present participle. In the same thing, you can see the race was exhausting. So exhausting what? This one, the race. That means this term is modifying the noun race. So it's an adjective and it is used as a complement in the sentence, and that's why it is called the subject complement. So in this way we can use present participle or past participle in the sentences. Now my dear friends, think about example number 7. Here we have written, the boy performing on the stage is my brother. Actually, my dear friends, participle may be used as part of a phrase that functions as an adjective. Friends, participle may be used as part of a phrase that functions as an adjective in the sentence. Look at this sentence. The boy performing on the stage. Look at this one. Here, this is the noun. And think about this one. This term, performing on the stage, that means this term is being particularized. Or you can understand from this situation, we are saying about the boy, and that boy, only that boy who is performing on the stage. So this is a part of the sentence as a phrase. It's a phrase. Look at this part, performing on the stage. There is no such subject, there is no such verb. So obviously it's a phrase. And this phrase is a part of this sentence and modifying the boy, and it's a noun. So as this phrase is modifying the noun, so obviously it's an adjective phrase. And my dear friends, this adjective phrase is used as participle in this sentence. Look at this part, it is participle. We are not using directly the adjectives. We are using present participle form. That means it's a present participle used as adjective in the sentence. So my dear friends, in this way we can use participle in our sentences. We'll focus right now, we'll focus in which way we use this participle in our real life situation. Let's look at this part. My dear friends, here I should mention one thing, that is, if in a sentence, if you see there is one subject and one finite verb, there may be the object or complement or not. That's not the important thing. If you see there is only one subject and one finite verb, these sentences will be called as simple sentence. And if there is more than one finite verb and subject, it will be called as complex or maybe compound sentences. It may be called compound sentences or it may be called complex sentences. Now my dear friends, complex sentence means there will be a part, this part, it is called principal clause. That means one part will be principal clause, another part will be called subordinate clause. Subordinate clause means this part is dependent upon this one. That means this part or subordinate clause part does not have any complete sense. Without the help of this part, this section is meaningless. This is called complex sentence. That means in complex sentence there will be one principal clause and one subordinate clause. And in simple sentence there will be only one principal clause. My dear friends, for understanding participle, this part is very important. I am just gonna show you. Friends, in real life, we use so many participle in our sentences. Let's look at this part. First of all, I have written I saw a dancing girl. The same example I have taken. And secondly, it is an interesting movie. So look at this part. It's an interesting movie and I saw a dancing girl. My dear friends, in this structure, at last there is a noun, and before that there is the adjective, and before the adjective there is a determiner, maybe a or maybe an. Look at these two sentences, the structures are almost same. Here it is a dancing girl, here it is an interesting movie. My dear friends, if you look at this structure, at last there is noun and at the beginning there is a or an, and in the mid position we are using an adjective. In this situation, most of the time we use present participle. My dear friends, this is the most important usage. Actually, my dear friends, here this word can be replaced by another adjective, pure adjective, just like this one, beautiful. This sentence is also a correct sentence. I saw a beautiful girl. Perfect sentence. But most of the time we use present participle in this place. My dear friends, this is the first usage. Friends, this is the second usage. Second usage of participle. Friends, I have written here some of the words and all these are verbs. You know, notice, hear, see, touch, watch, smell. My dear friends, these types of words are called sense verbs, or you can say the verbs of perception. Actually, my dear friends, for understanding these verbs we use our sense organs. Sense organs, you know, we have 5 sense organs, and by using our sense organs we can realize these verbs or these words. That's why these are called sense organs. And after these sense verbs always we use present participle. I'm just gonna give you an example. Friends, you can see I have written here 2 example sentences. First of all, this term heard, it is a verb of perception. This one is also verb of perception. And after that we have used the present participle. Here you can see we have used present participle. My dear friends, in this section one thing is very important. Actually friends, after verbs of perceptions sometimes we use present participle or sometimes we use bare infinitive. This is the most important part. Here if we write down bare infinitive means the verb without to. That means this is the verb form, or 2 plus be1, this is the perfect infinitive, or you can say pure infinitive. Whenever this term is used as a noun in the sentence, it is called infinitive. Sometimes we use with to, sometimes we use without to. So without to means it is called bare infinitive. That means only we use the present form of the verb as a noun, not as a verb. Here I heard him cry. This is a perfect sentence. It has a complete sense. Same thing we can write down, I saw her drink tea. So the difference is that whenever we are using ing form, it means the action is ongoing. That means whenever you saw this girl, at that time she was drinking tea. This action was ongoing at that time. And it is finished action. That means I heard him cry. So whenever you heard, at that time he was not crying. That means these activities completed. This is the main difference. So my dear friends, after verbs of sense or verbs of perceptions, we can use present participle, or sometimes we use bare infinitive. Here we cannot write down to cry. Actually, my dear friends, we have to write down bare infinitive here. My dear friends, I think the usage number second is clear to you. Now think about the third usage of present participle in our real life situation. My dear friends, in our real life, sometimes we perform two activities at the same time, just like this one. Suppose this action is going on and at the same time we are doing another action. We are doing here another action. So my dear friends, it means that two actions are going on simultaneously, or you can say two actions are going on at the same time. But one thing we have to remember, this has to be done by one person. That means this person is doing two activities at the same time. I am just giving you one example. In this situation, we can use present participle. Let's look at the example. So friends, I have written here two example sentences. You can look at this sentence. First of all, I have written, I was driving the car listening to music. So here, this is the first action. This is the main verb of this sentence. You know, this is not the adjective. Before that, there is the auxiliary verb. It means this is the principal verb of the sentence. This is the principal verb, and this one is auxiliary verb. And this part is adjective. As it is ing, it will be called present participle. Here, think about this sentence. I was driving the car. This is the first action. This action was going on. And at the same time, I was listening to music. So two actions are going on at the same time. Here in this sentence, you can see there are two actions. One is listening to music, another one is driving the car. My dear friends, we should not do it in our real life, even though some of the situations you can see we use this type of actions in our daily lives. Let's look at this example. I took the exam thinking of my ill father. So here two actions are going on simultaneously. I took the exam, that means I was taking part in the exam. This is the first action. And thinking of my ill father. So my father was ill, and at that time, whenever I was taking the exam, at that time I was thinking of him. That means I was thinking of my father. So two actions were going on at the same time. One action is going on, and with this action, another action is going on. So two actions are going on, and my dear friends, and two actions are done by the same person. You can see this is the main subject. This person is taking the exam, and this person is also thinking about his father. Here the same thing. This person is driving the car, and this person is listening to music. So the two activities are done by the same person. My dear friends, at first I told you about simple sentence and complex sentence. So my dear friends, here you can see this is a simple sentence. Actually there is only one subject and only one verb. This part is rather adjective. So this part is called adjective phrase. That means these are the complement part. These are the complement or the extension of this sentence. So here only one subject is there and one verb is there. That's why it is called simple sentence. Same thing here. I took the exam thinking of my father. So here, my dear friends, you can see only one subject is there and only one verb is there. This is the finite verb, and we are not concerned about object or complement. There may be different types of extensions in a sentence. That's not so important. We have to think whether there is one subject or one verb. Here there is one subject, one verb. Same thing here also, one subject, one verb. So it's a simple sentence. Now my dear friends, for using these types of activities in simple sentence, we use present participle. If we try to convert it into complex sentence, we have to do some extra thing. That is, complex sentence means, my dear friends, there will be one principal clause and another one will be subordinate clause. We have to convert it into these two parts. Let's look at this. I was driving the car, just we have to change while I was listening to music. Now friends, you can see I was driving the car, this is the principal clause, it has complete sense, and this part while I was listening to music, it is the subordinate part. So my dear friends, this part does not have independent sense. This part is entirely dependent upon this part. That's why this is called subordinate clause. This is sub clause or subordinate clause. That means it became a complex sentence. My dear friends, in this situation, we use present participle. The same thing here also. You can convert it into complex one. I took the exam while I was thinking, while I was thinking of my father, ill father. So it became a complex sentence. So my dear friends, for showing two activities going on at the same time, two activities are going on at the same time and it is done by one person. And one most important thing is, if we want to make it a simple sentence, at that time we use present participle. My dear friends, I think this part is clear to you. Let's think about the another situation where to use present participle. Friends, this is the fourth and last usage of present participle. Actually, my dear friends, in this situation, after completion of one action, the second action starts. In this situation, that means after completion of one action, the second action starts. That means between these two actions, there is no such time gap. One action completes and the second action starts. Between these two actions, there is no such time gap. And my dear friends, for this situation, if we wanna make simple sentences, at that time we use present participle. Here you can see, my dear friends, the most important example is given here. Look at this part. Seeing his mother, he touches her feet. So think about this one. This is the first action, seeing his mother. He sees his mother and he touches her feet. Actually, this is showing respect. In Indian system, this is the system of showing respect to the elders. We respect the elders by touching their feet, and it is done whenever we see them. That means between these two actions there is no such time gap. So he seeing his mother, that means he saw his mother, this action is completed, and after that he touches her feet. So between these two actions there is no such time gap. In this situation, my dear friends, we can use present participle, and you can see, my dear friends, there is only one subject. This is the subject, and this is for this one also. The subject is common, one person is doing these two activities, and here this is the subject and this is the verb. So my dear friends, this is a simple sentence. Now if we want to convert it into complex sentence, we have to write down in this way: as soon as he sees his mother, he touches her feet. My dear friends, this is a complex sentence. This part is subordinate clause. It does not have a complete sense. This is the principal clause. So the same meaning is same, but the difference is that this is a simple sentence and this one is a complex sentence. My dear friends, here one thing we should remember: for the first action, here for the first action we use present participle. Look at these parts: seeing his mother, he touches her feet. So at first this action takes place. So for the first action we use present participle. I am giving you another example, it will be clear to you. Let's look at this example, friends. Seeing the police, the thief ran away. Friends, this is a simple sentence. So seeing the police, the thief ran away. So the subject here, the thief. So at first he saw the police, and after that he ran away. That means between these two actions there is no such time gap. As soon as he saw the police, the thief ran away. As soon as the thief saw the police, he ran away. This is the complex sentence of this one, and this is a simple sentence. My dear friends, the thief saw the police. The action is finished here, first action. And after that, without wasting any time, he ran away from that place. So between these two activities, there is no such time gap. That means as soon as he saw the police, he ran away. As soon as the thief saw the police, he ran away. So my dear friends, this is the simple sentence, and if we write down in this way using as soon as, that will be the complex sentence. So my dear friends, this was all about the usage of present participle in our real life situations. I think, my dear friends, this video is clear to you.